Man, there are two topics where on any given day I can do a whole show on the fucked up updates that we get. One of those things is Gaza, and the other one is what the ICE Gestapo thugs have been up to. Take a look at this, guys. So let's start with this one here. The tweet from Ben Crump, who's a civil rights attorney. He says the following. This is horrifying. A U.S. citizen violently taken down by federal agents in a grocery store parking lot, despite telling them he had an ID, a social security card, and a birth certificate. His family says Angel Pena was hospitalized and suffered a concussion. So here we go. We got a ABC video on this. Take a look at what happened.
Tense moments in Ontario today when customers challenged masked federal immigration agents who showed up at a grocery store. Many bystanders left visibly shaken. Tonight we have an exclusive interview with one man, a U.S. citizen, who was detained in the operation. Eyewitness News reporter Jory Rand joining us now with the details of this encounter. Jory.
Mark, this is yet another case of an American citizen being taken into custody by masked federal agents without a warrant being presented. The Trump administration says they are not targeting people based on their appearance, but as more Americans continue to be swept up in these raids, they're finding that claim hard to believe. Today in Ontario, another ICE raid and another U.S. citizen taken into custody.
I'm right here, Angel. I'm right here.
Angel Pena says he was minding his own business when masked federal agents showed up at the Stater Brothers. Customers began to shout at them, telling them to leave, but some went inside the store. Nearby doorbell video shows Pena running away, approaching a passing SUV looking for help, but the agents wound up violently taking him into custody.
Wait, Joey, wait.
They were shoving my head against the ground, elbowed me, and they used forcefully a baton to really pierce my side.
Pena says he tried explaining to the agents that he was an American, but they ignored him.
I know. Just stop for a second.
I told them I was born. Well, I had an ID, I had a social, I had a birth certificate, and none of the officers, the ICE agents that were on scene, they didn't care about none of that.
Only when a supervisor showed up was he released. Earlier this month, a federal judge here in Los Angeles ordered the Trump administration to stop ICE agents from targeting people based on their skin color, accent, or job. The administration said they were appealing the decision, and just last week, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said it simply doesn't happen.
That is absolutely false, and don't you dare ever say that again. We have judges out there and other individuals saying people have been targeted that way, and it's not true.
This all comes as 700 U.S. Marines deployed to Los Angeles are now being ordered by the Pentagon back out of the city.
They will be leaving Los Angeles. They were never needed in the first place. It was a misuse of our troops.
That's just so crazy, bro. That's just so crazy. And this is, I mean, now there's been reports, you guys know, in Trump's first term, they arrested a bunch of American citizens. In the second term, it's got to be hundreds or thousands of Americans. And the scariest part to me is that even when dude is like, bro, I got my driver's license, I got my birth certificate, I know my social security number, like I can tell you the hospital I was born at, like I'm good, dog. Even when you say that, they don't fucking listen. They still detain you. They still arrest you. Some of these people have been American citizens. They've been locked up for 3 days, locked up for a week. This is what happens when you have the erosion of rule of law and no checks and balances, no due process, no constitutional procedure, no trial, just a bunch of masked thugs, which, by the way, again, ask yourself, why are you wearing masks? Why are you covering your face? If the ICE agents are proud of what they're doing and they think they're on the right side, why are you covering your face? They're covering it because they know what they're doing is illegal. They know it. They know it. And they know there might be consequences down the road when an administration gets in there that actually gives a shit about the law. And so that's why they're doing what they're doing. But we're not even done yet. So this was a case of an American citizen being beat up and detained. By the way, I hope that guy sues. I hope that guy wins a tremendous amount of money. Nobody should have to go through that. Now here's an example of a legal immigrant whose life they are ruining. Watch.
Our cameras were rolling on July 2nd when two women were walked out of immigration court in San Francisco in handcuffs, one of them an employee of Pivot Interiors in Santa Clara. Christy Nadeau with Pivot Interiors tells us she even double-checked the woman's legal status with a federal database called E-Verify. Everything turned out clean, with a work permit valid through 2029 and no criminal history.
So these are not illegal immigrants. These are hardworking people. These are good people. They're not criminals. And we have to do something about this. We have to make people aware that this is happening.
And the numbers show this is not an isolated case. Our investigative unit discovered that in June of this year, the number of California immigrants detained by ICE with no criminal convictions or pending charges reflected a 2,000% spike compared to last year. 80 arrests last June to 1,606 this year.
They've expanded the definition of what constitutes an arriving alien to include anyone that's been in the country for less than 2 years.
As ICE has increasingly started detaining people at routine immigration hearings, a growing number of immigrants say they're considering not showing up. But immigration attorney Andrew Newcomb says immigrants should not ignore their court hearings. Instead, he suggests that at least 10 days before that hearing, they ask the judge for a continuance or ask to appear via video call. Newcomb has a how-to demonstration on his website.
You can get templates for a video appearance or a continuance, and there's a PowerPoint explaining exactly how to fill it out and where to mail it.
Pivot Interiors says in talking with the employee after ICE detained her, she told them she had been coerced by ICE to sign self-deportation papers. And as of tonight, they don't know where she is. What they do know is they have a lot of questions about why a hard-working woman from Colombia who followed the law was still detained simply for showing up to court. We reached out to ICE specifically about this case, but have not had any response.
I mean, these people are destroying America. The ICE Gestapo thugs are destroying America. They're laying the precedent that you shouldn't want to be here at all. If you're a legal immigrant, if you're on a work visa, like, you shouldn't want to be here at all, because at any given moment, we can destroy your life. Even if you have a green card, even if you're set, even if everything's taken care of, we could just decide willy-nilly, let's throw you in a fucking concentration camp, or let's kick you out. I mean, we've heard horror stories of people who've been here their whole lives who were deported. Deported where? To countries they don't know dick about. This is what we're talking about here. But it gets worse. It gets worse. You guys ready for this? From Tucson.com. This just came out. Border agent charged with child sex trafficking and fraud. Holy shit. A Tucson sector Border Patrol agent has been indicted on 24 felony charges, including 10 counts of child sex trafficking, the latest in a series of sexual misconduct convictions or charges against U.S. Customs and Border Protection employees in Arizona. Wilcox border agent Bart Conrad Yeager, 39, was also charged with 6 counts of pandering or encouraging someone to engage in prostitution, 1 count of attempted child sex trafficking, and 2 counts of fraud between July 2023 and March 2024. Indictments from the Cochise County Attorney's Office show. On Thursday, county prosecutors also charged Yeager with 5 drug-related felonies, possession or use of the anabolic steroid Trenbolone and testosterone, sale or transportation of Trenbolone and testosterone, and possession of drug paraphernalia. A CBP spokesperson said the agency's Office of Professional Responsibility arrested Yeager in Wilcox on June 17th and executed a search warrant based on allegations of child sex trafficking, fraudulent schemes, and pandering. So now it's not just ICE, it's also Customs and Border Protection. These various Gestapo thug groups that Trump is running. Now we have a child sex trafficking ring at the border. Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ. And then I want to give you guys one more to really put in perspective just how deplorable all this is. I mean, this says everything. And what I've already showed you is enough. But then we also get this. So there's this big baseball tournament, and you have the Venezuelan baseball team, made it to the tournament. And guess what? The Little League team from Venezuela was denied travel visas to the U.S. for the World Series. So there was this World Series, I think it was supposed to take place in South Carolina, I believe, and they had earned their spot, and they were going to come to the country, and the government said, we're not going to give you the visas. So it's just something that wouldn't have even been a concern or a consideration previously. Like, this wouldn't have been a big deal at all that they get to play in this tournament. Now, they got it ruined. And so this Little League team, they had to go to Colombia to get their approval to go to the U.S., and so they have to travel from Venezuela to Colombia, and then it would be Colombia to the U.S., but they go from Venezuela to Colombia, and then they're not allowed in the U.S. So this is disgusting. This is disturbing what's happening to this country. This regime is anti-freedom. They're anti-freedom. And they're certainly anti-immigrant in a way that is just absolutely mind-boggling to me. And what's really eye-opening in this moment is you really come to realize, hold on a second, every immigrant I know, these are like the best people I know. These are hardworking people. These are family people. These are loyal people. They don't cause trouble with anybody. They commit crime at a much lower rate compared to, American-born people. And you realize this is just a total fucking witch hunt. And at the end of the day, it's an attempt to basically make our country a white nation, right? This is an attempt to ethnically cleanse our country and kick out as many people of color as they possibly can. That's what we're witnessing. And every day, that gets validated more and more as the horror show that it is. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.